On the 5th of September, 1969, in the remote village of Ruzid in the middle of frozen Siberia, a strange discovery occurred, shaking all understanding of human history. As the miners worked hard at a depth of 70 meters underground, an unusual sound rang out, a dry, sharp click, completely different from anything they had heard before. One worker, after a moment of shock, bent down to dig through the thick layer of coal. What they saw next left everyone speechless. Underneath the ancient rock, hidden for millions of years, was a secret room immersed in absolute darkness. The shaky flashlight beam illuminated the strange space, revealing a white marble coffin, intricately carved as if it did not belong to this era. A feeling of unease crept into each person as they realized there was no trace of humans ever setting foot here. When scientists arrived at the scene, they could only come up with one terrifying hypothesis. The age of the coffin could be as high as 800 million years, or at least 100 million years. A completely impossible number. If that were true, then who or what had created it? And why was it buried so deep? After accidentally discovering a secret chamber hidden deep underground, the miners slowly entered, flashlights shaking in their hands as they saw a pure white marble coffin, carved so intricately that it was almost surreal. The coffin was of considerable size, about 2.6 meters long and 1 meter high, emitting a cold, mysterious light, as if it did not belong to this world. At first, the miners believed they had found a priceless treasure. The strange patterns on the coffin evoked the image of a mysterious, ancient civilization. They whispered to each other about gold, precious stones, or even ancient books containing lost knowledge. The thought of a huge fortune made them hesitate, struggling between greed and fear. They planned to keep the secret, dividing the treasure before the authorities could intervene. But then, a feeling of unease crept into their minds, an invisible fear as if they had awakened something that should not be disturbed. In the end, they decided to report the discovery to the local authorities. However, curiosity still won over fear. Before the officials could arrive, a group of miners quietly approached, using all their strength to pry open the mysterious coffin. As the lid of the coffin gradually opened, cold air rose from inside, making the space seem frozen. Those present held their breath, their eyes wide with horror. Inside was not gold, silver, and jewels, but the body of a young woman. What was even more terrifying was that she looked intact, as if she were just in a deep sleep. Her pale skin, her black hair hanging loosely in a strange pink liquid, showed no signs of time or decay. A cold wind blew past. No one said a word, but everyone felt it. They had just touched something that did not belong to this world. Inside the marble coffin was the body of a young woman so beautiful, it was surreal, as if she did not belong to this world. Her long, wavy dark brown hair fell lightly over her slender shoulders. Her fair skin was so smooth that it was flawless, reflecting the dim light as if emitting a cold aura. She was wearing a transparent white dress, shimmering under the light as if woven from a material beyond human understanding. She lay still in a strange pink liquid, a mysterious solution that seemed to have kept this body intact for millions of years, defying the laws of nature. But what made the onlookers even more horrified was the small black metal box placed right next to her head. It did not look like any ancient artifact that had ever been found, but rather had the appearance of a high-tech device. Years later, as humanity entered the age of smartphones, a chilling hypothesis was put forward. Was this mysterious object a time-traveling device? Or did it contain a secret that humans were not ready to discover? Curiosity pushed humans to the brink of horror. When the coffin was opened, the eyes of the crowd fell on the mysterious pink liquid surrounding the woman's body. It had no smell, no signs of danger, but it exuded an irresistible attraction. A young man in the crowd, fascinated by the mystery, boldly dipped his finger in and brought it to his mouth to taste. The moment passed in silence, and at first, it seemed like nothing happened. But then, the tragedy began. Just a week later, he became panicked, his spirit inexplicably collapsing. His eyes were wild, no longer recognizing anyone, as if something invisible had invaded his soul. His body quickly weakened, becoming cold in the harsh winter, and then, mysteriously, he passed away without anyone being able to explain. But the horror did not stop there. Since the day the coffin was exhumed, strange deaths occurred one after another, casting a dark shadow over the small village. People began to whisper to each other about an ancient curse, something that had been dormant for millions of years, and now it was slowly awakening. The mysterious significance of this discovery prompted the Soviet authorities to act. From the sky, the sound of helicopter blades pierced the silence as high-ranking officials, military, police, and KGB agents poured into the excavation site. The small village was quickly cordoned off, transformed into a no-go zone. Brief orders were given to remove the coffin for study. But as soon as the soldiers tried to lift it, they realized a terrifying truth. The coffin was too heavy to move. Forced to find a way to reduce the weight, the scientists decided to drain the pink liquid surrounding the body. But the moment the last drop of liquid disappeared, something terrible happened. The woman's flawless white skin began to change color. In just a few minutes, her perfect appearance turned a cold gray black, as if the fragile life had just been drained. Those present watched in horror. They had no doubt the liquid was the secret that had kept the body intact for millions of years. The body was then taken to a top-secret research facility in Novosibirsk, but from there, everything went dark. No documents were released, no information leaked. The villagers only knew that the agents had come, carrying an ancient secret, and then disappeared. At the top-secret laboratory in Novosibirsk, scientists threw themselves into their research with a mixture of excitement and skepticism. They experimented with radiocarbon dating, but quickly realized a terrifying limitation. The method could only measure samples no older than 50,000 years. The coffin and the body inside were far older than that, drifting into a time that science had never touched. Not giving up, they turned to more advanced techniques, from geological layer analysis to the most advanced measurement methods. The final result left the entire research council dumbfounded. The coffin and the body inside were up to 800 million years old. This truth, if confirmed, would turn all human understanding upside down. At that time, according to scientific knowledge, the Earth only had primitive single-celled life forms with no traces of civilization. So who created this coffin? Who was the woman inside? And most importantly, was there a civilization that existed on Earth from the beginning, then was wiped out without a trace? The mysterious research results of Princess Tisul opened the door to a world of strange and unbelievable hypotheses. Some scientists believe she is the remnant of a superior civilization that once ruled the Earth hundreds of millions of years ago, a civilization so great that it has never been recorded in mainstream history, or worse, has been erased from human memory. If this is true, then everything we know about evolution, about our ancient past, may be just the tip of a giant iceberg. However, there are even more shocking theories. Her unrealistically white skin has led some researchers to speculate that she is not of this world. Could she have come from a distant planet where the sun rarely shines, and now lies on Earth like a lost piece of the universe? Whatever the truth, this discovery raises unanswerable questions, challenging the limits of science and human perception. It's like a message from the past, or from some civilization, waiting for those brave enough to seek the answer. The story of Princess Tisul spread like a mysterious wind, arousing public curiosity. A local newspaper bravely published information about this shocking discovery. But in the blink of an eye, everything fell into a vortex of absolute control. The KGB immediately stepped in, declaring that this was just a wild rumor, that no such discovery existed. But the haste with which they acted only aroused suspicion. All publications mentioning the story were urgently recalled, as if there was something that really needed to be hidden. Those who dared to reveal the information from research professors to newspaper editors were punished, disappearing from public life without explanation. The strict censorship kept the story in the dark for many years, like a sealed secret. Only after the collapse of the Soviet Union, when the free press had a chance to speak out, was information about this mysterious discovery rekindled. Notably, in 2002, a sensational article with the title "The 800 Million Year Old Lady" appeared in the Kashia newspaper, causing the forgotten story to suddenly come to life, leading to a series of unanswered questions. After the coffin was confiscated, the atmosphere in the village suddenly became heavy, as if an invisible darkness was covering everything. No one could have expected that. Just a few months later, those who had touched the coffin would meet with mysterious deaths, one after another. Ivan Knot, the first person to discover the secret room, passed away mysteriously. He died in a strange motorbike accident, although he had never drunk alcohol before. But the official report stated that he was drunk and lost control of the vehicle. His death was like the signal for the next series of tragedies. A month later, another miner in the village drowned, and no one could explain the cause. These chilling events left the villagers in a state of utter panic. Rumors of an ancient curse began to spread, a curse that would punish anyone who dared to harm Princess Tisul. And then, every time the story seemed to die down, another death would occur, deepening the mystery into a sea of fear and haunting whispers. Despite all the Soviet government's efforts to cover it up, the story of Princess Tisul still crept through the whispers, spreading as an indelible mystery. Those who witnessed the moment the coffin opened remained steadfast in their assertion of the truth, despite the passage of time and the invisible warnings that hovered around them. Near the site of the coffin's discovery, a silent memorial plaque has emerged, marking the strange event of 1969 as a reminder of something beyond human understanding. But is this really the end of the story? Some bold theories suggest that this is not the only case, that similar discoveries have been buried in silence. Did some superior ancient civilization once exist? Or have we stumbled upon traces of an entity that does not belong to this world? The mystery of Princess Tisul is more than just a strange story. It is a door that opens to unanswered questions that challenge all understanding of history and the true origins of humanity.